Thanks for coming in, guys. This is WTFGameNation. I'm Peanut Butter.
This is Toasted Butter.
Coming to you live from Game Nation Studios with a comprehensive breakdown on how we dismantle the Last Wish raid. This video is part 2 of 6 and focuses on the mechanics involved in taking down Shuro Chi the Corrupted, the second of the Tekken witches. This encounter is extremely unique in its mechanics, pacing, and general theme. Looking at Shuro Chi's health bar, you'll notice 6 distinct sections. This is attributed to how many times you'll be DPSing her. And in between each DPS wave, you'll have continuous movement and ad control. Let's start by covering some preferred loadouts. Shotguns and sleepers reign supreme in this encounter, as well as orb creation. For supers, we recommend Titans use the mid-tree for Sentinel subclass, which is amazing for ad control when paired with the Doomfang pauldrons. Either that or the hammers, with the top tree using the melting point. Hunters can use the Arc Strider or Blade Barrage, however having at least one tether is very helpful. And Warlocks, keep doing you.
Constant ad control is the name of the game here. With the amount of ads that spawn, there generally is no reason to hold on to your super. If you have it for ad control, call out you're going to use it so you do not end up doubling on your super with another teammate and then wreak havoc. As soon as one super ends, someone else should pop theirs. Orbs will consistently be created, making for an excellent super train, and this will be taking place in the background of the majority of the encounter. You'll be fighting Taken Thralls with their teleporting, Taken Knights with their flames, and Taken Captains called the Eye of Riven with this double hitting wave of death. Killing the captain will drop an orb that when picked up will either give the debuff Taken Essence of Antumbra or Taken Essence of Penumbra.
Let's get into the mechanics. You'll notice a debuff in the lower left-hand corner titled Shuro Chi's Song. This starts at 4 minutes and will consistently count down. You'll be running through 3 different floors and have 4 minutes to clear each floor, at which point you will ascend. As you clear ads, you will come into an area where Shuro Chi is shielded and remaining still, surrounded by 3 plates and spawning thralls in regular intervals. Clear 2 rounds of thralls and the phrase Shiro's Tempo quickens will pop in your kill feed, as well as a prism spawning on each plate. As you may have guessed, the tempo quickening refers to the countdown of Shiro's song picking up pace. This will go back to normal cadence once you break Shiro's shield, so you will want to do this quickly.
During the final spawn of Thralls, you will want 3 teammates to each stand next to one of their assigned plates surrounding Shuro, but do not jump on it yet. As the last few Thralls die and the prisms spawn, the team leader will count down from 3 and everyone will grab a prism, jump on the plate, and shoot another prism holder, forming a triangle. Make sure your team establishes what direction they will be shooting, but we shoot to the right, or counterclockwise around Shuro. You really want to be in sync with this, as standing on the plate will make you take damage. Forming a triangle will break her shield, allowing for DPS to begin, and making the song countdown at a regular pace once more. A Warlock with Lunafaction should put a well at Shuro's feet to allow for easy shotgun use, and if need be, use a sleeper as well. Shuro will be forming a rift above her head in the same fashion as Callie, and this is her white move. There are 2 ways to stop this white move. 1, completely DPS a section of her health bar off, or 2, you can use the Eye of Riven to stagger her. The Eye of Riven will be a constant theme for the rest of this raid. When you pick it up, the Taken Essence debuff will begin to climb, and surpassing 10 stacks of this debuff will kill you. With the Eye, you can shoot, you can hit your grenade button to cleanse, something you will definitely need for later encounters, or use your super to stagger a boss. That is what you will want to do here. As Shuro's rift above her head becomes the largest, it will begin to turn red. You will want to stagger her at that moment, allowing for more DPS. You have now lost the Eye of Riven, and Shuro is beginning to form a second rift, so at this point, you will definitely need to take out the rest of that section of health bar you are currently working on if you have not done so yet.
As soon as the health bar loses a section, Shuro will be immune, and you will need to move forward, continuing to race against the clock. Begin to pop your supers again, chaining the generation of orbs. Be aware there is now an ogre along your pathway. If you are not in your super, burn him with the heavy before moving forward. As you move forward, you will come to another point where Shuro is surrounded by 3 plates. The same 3 people should move to their plate after they clear ads. As the last wave of Thrall begin to spawn, jump onto the plates together and shoot and form the triangle to allow DPS to begin. After you take off another section of her health bar, you come to the final phase of the first round. You will find yourself in a room with 9 plates on the ground and a picture up on the left wall, 1 on the middle wall and 1 on the right wall. Each picture is made up of 9 separated puzzle pieces. Think of the 9 plates as corresponding to each of the 9 puzzle pieces. Only 1 picture will be activated at a time, and the left picture will always be first, followed by the middle picture, then finally the right picture. You will see 4 of the puzzle pieces that are darker and need to be filled in. Your team will fill them in by standing on the plate that corresponds to the dark puzzle piece.
There are many different callouts that different teams use here, but we call out the location of the puzzle pieces that are missing. For instance, the first person would call out, "I'm covering the middle plate," and the second would say, "I'm covering the bottom mid plate." The third would say, "I'm covering the bottom left plate," and the fourth person would call out the mid left plate, which is also the only missing symbol left. How do we organize these callouts? Let me explain. It's important to remember the plates will always be referred to in relation to what picture you are currently looking at. The closest row of plates to the picture is the top row. The furthest row from the active picture would be the bottom, and the row in the middle would be the middle. As you rotate to the next picture, your perspective will change. So now the row closest to the newly active picture is top, the furthest is bottom, and the one between is going to be your middle, and so on. Now the real tricky part takes place because you cannot step on the same plate more than once each round. The best way to counteract this is to organize your callouts. If you imagine the picture on the wall like a clock, the first person will always call to cover the plate that is closest to 12 o'clock. The second person can call out the next missing piece in a clockwise format. The third continues with the next piece clockwise, and the fourth will get the final piece, which will still be in a clockwise direction. Remember the plates you have stood on so that if you do get a duplicate, you can call to trade with a teammate. Now, while 4 people are making these callouts, 2 people should be working solely on ad control. There will be thralls and, most dangerously, phalanxes. These guys will push the teammates off of plates and make them activate plates they do not mean to by tossing them over those plates. Remember, this becomes a problem because you cannot touch a plate more than once. Shoot them before they can shoot you.
Now, as soon as the last picture has been filled in and the code has been accepted, you'll want to ascend to the next level. You have refreshed the amount of time for Shuro Chi's song. Take your time and let your teammates go one by one. There are 3 platforms you will need to take, and periodically they will flip over and rotate. At the top of the next level, there are also 3 phalanxes waiting to knock you off and kill you. So play it safe and use your grenades and keep your distance until they're dead. Now that you've completed the first level, you will start to get a feel for the rhythm of the fight. Ad control, break the shield, DPS, stagger with the Eye of Riven, then DPS again, then move forward while ad controlling, DPSing, Eye of Riven, DPSing, and then picture room. Yeah, that's a mouthful. It's also fun as hell. This will be the flow of the entire battle for the second floor as well.
Now, when you get to the final floor, this rhythm will still hold true. However, there are slight changes. You will now have taken acolytes as well, and these guys spawn acolyte eyes that will burn you down very quickly. So you want to focus on the acolyte eyes first, then the acolytes, then the taken knights that are still there to burn you. There's also a lot less cover here, so play it very wisely. When you get to that final section of DPS, Shuro Chi has a bit more health than before. So if you've been avoiding the Eye of Riven because your team has enough, I would highly recommend picking up the Eye of Riven here just for that extra time for DPS. There will also be additional spawns on this final plate where Shuro Chi stands. These guys will mainly be more acolytes and acolyte eyes, so take your time and make sure you clear them before breaking her shield. Now all that stands between you and those powerful raid drops is one more wave of DPS.
Alright guys, regarding the challenge for Shuro Chi's part of this raid, you have to avoid her sniper blast. You can be hit by anything on the board, ogres, taken captains, anything on the board you can be hit by with the exception of Shuro Chi's sniper. You can even be hit by her push blast, but do not get hit by the sniper and you'll be fine to be collecting that reward at the end for the challenge mode.
Really what this challenge forces you to do is to play the game a lot safer. You're really going to want to take a lot of cover behind every single flower pot, every single pillar that you can find. Always keep a pillar in between you and Shuro Chi. You'll be able to hear her blast charge up, and you'll see an animation of her about to shoot it. Keep an eye out for that at all times, and again, just make sure there's something in between you and her. She will only do this move when she's standing on the area surrounded by the 3 prism plates.
After the celebration is wound down and you're examining your loot, you're now on the 3rd leg to this incredible raid. There's plenty more to go. If you've not seen the strategy for the first encounter on Kali, please be sure to click the link below. And if these strats work for you, please hit the like button. And if you really, really like them and you want to see more, then smash the subscribe so it's easy for you to find our next encounters. If you have different strats or better strats, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with WTF, man. We'll see you on the next one.